Nice to see some more people out here. Yesterday was not as crowded, so it's a good crowd. My name is Evan Woodnorth. I work with Deutsche Welle. We are the official media sponsors and partners of the SDG Global Fest. So I just work right down the road as a journalist. And I'm here joined by Olivier Adam, who is the executive coordinator of the United Nations Volunteers. Olivier, welcome.
Thank you, Evan.
Maybe you could start off talking a little bit about your role and the roles of the volunteers with the SDG goals.
So I head an organization that is called United Nations Volunteers that has two mandates. One is promotion of volunteering and volunteerism across our member states of the United Nations as one of the values that is being promoted by the UN in terms of solidarity of people to people. And the second is recruitment and placement of national and international volunteers in situ or online across the activities of the UN system. So we are not specifically working on one goal, but we are working across the 17 SDGs.
I know you said you're working across the SDGs. Is there one in particular, though, that you mentioned before, perhaps Goal 16 of the peace, justice, and having the strength of these institutions?
Well, we have about a third of our volunteers that are working within peacekeeping missions or special political missions, and that are working obviously directly on Goal 16, on peace issues, on ensuring better governance. But for us, Goal 16 as an organization is an important goal, as for volunteerism to flower, you need to have a conducive legislation, conducive governments that enable civil society to thrive and volunteers to exercise their volunteering activities.
And I know how many volunteers are we talking about?
We have 20,000 between the online and on-site volunteers, so very few. When you think that there's about 1 billion volunteers a year, or people volunteering across the globe on a yearly basis.
And one of the main things about this festival is this kind of citizen engagement and, taking action. And so is there something, in your opinion, what do you think are some of the best ways to take action? And not, obviously everyone's situation is different depending on where you live, what you do, etc. But what are some concrete goals towards taking action and attaining these sustainability goals?
I think, anybody that is aware of the SDGs can realize that at whichever level one can play a role, depending on your own interest, obviously, what you're passionate about, and engage. And that can be through local governments, through NGO work, or directly in doing some promotion and advocacy, or directly supporting the work of the United Nations and joining the ranks of the UN volunteers, if you're interested in having that international experience, or even as a United Nations national volunteer in your own country to support the work of the UN or the work of the partners of the UN in reaching the SDG locally.
All right, perhaps one last question here. What has been the most inspiring thing you've seen at the festival so far?
Well, it's inspiring to see so many people doing by their own initiatives, which are mainly volunteering initiatives, actual actions in their own community. And I felt extremely privileged to be part of the ceremony of awarding last night, where we could see some of the results of incredible initiatives across the various SDGs.
Yeah, I remember that was also very, very inspiring. There was one group from Morocco that came here last year without any ideas,
and then they
found an idea. Next year, they win the award. Doesn't get better than that, right?
Power of people in action.
All righty. Thank you, Olivier.
Thank you very much.